Hey everybody, Sean is exiting. He's like, please don't, please don't. He feels, Sean gets really embarrassed. I don't blame him. Wait, I think this is a beer from, oh my god, I just spilled, it's my beer from last time. Didn't even finish it. Barely even started. I think it was just opened and like a couple of drinks. Hi everyone, I didn't even post this on Facebook earlier, or on Instagram. I'm sorry. You guys, I know, I feel bad. You're like, it's only hurting you. It actually is hurting me. But that's for another day. We'll discuss what went on. Actually, it's probably for today. I've got news. And the good news is that I don't really want to talk about right now because I want to wait till the end because I like talking about other things first. But the fiber stuff. Okay, so the knit along, spin along was not lost. It was just delayed. So I have everything ready. Like I've spun, you guys. I had to spin yarn. I had to make the scrap boxes. And then the people who won, I had to make that scrap box. So that scrap box is for this thing, and it actually just got packed today because it just dried. It's been raining down cats and dogs here for, I want to say, like maybe the better part of a week. I think it started on Sunday, which is really good because I planted 4-way hay. And then Sean like sent me pictures of it because I haven't been out to the pasture. You're like, well, how big is your property, Natalie? It's only 5 acres, but I haven't been out there. Anyway, and then I saw these little sprigs and I got really happy inside, these tiny little sprigs, because I was sure all the peacocks would have eaten all the seeds. You guys are like, but what are we doing? And who are you? I'm Natalie Redding, Yarnitarian. Life, knitting, yarn, and all things fiber, while high on flamin' hot Cheetos and cheap American beer. I added part of it, because it is really about life, huh? A lot of it. People are like, don't lie to us. Don't false advertise. How much fiber is in this thing? You guys, I try to teach you. I do. I bring it. Don't I? I try. I do talk about knitting and etc., etc. And I did make this amazing yarn, which I'm going to show you again later. You're like, there isn't very much of it. No, there's more. This is just a little one. Because I was like trying to figure out what I was going to use, what base I was going to use, because I want to make it, it's for Sean, for his dreadlocks. So I want it to be slouchy. I think, did I pick 6 patterns? 4 or 6. I think it's, you like, can you just remember one thing? Let me think, let me look. I think it's 6 patterns. There's 6 patterns that people can choose from on this thing. And so it's for him, it'll be a slouchy hat because he's got these massive amounts of dreads, like, it's like that big around. His ponytail is like that big around. And so, you know, to be able to fit around the fatness of these things. But then somebody might not want a slouchy hat. But then I picked like 4 different patterns for a slouchy hat. And so people will have variety. I'm going to talk about it later. I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to talk about other things. First of all, let me see who's here. Because I love you guys. I think I need to remind people on Facebook though. Hi everybody. Okay, Renee. Okay, and also, so once again, the scrap box, Renee, I did the label like the next day, but it just dried. So it's all packed, and you have to let it out of the bag, though, when you get it, because I don't want it to be, it's a little bit damp maybe still. So you and Vivian have to both let them out of the bag, let the scrap box out. So you ended up getting like, you got 4 ounces of top, so if you wanted to do a traditional yarn, and then you got the scrap box if you want to do a yarn that's, that isn't traditional, if you want to do. So I'm really excited about it. I really want to talk about it right now, but I don't want to because Trish is so awesome. The people that don't like my foul language and me talking about penises, she says, come back later if you want to learn about the stuff that Natalie's talking about, and you don't want to hear penis and vagina, etc., then, and swear words, don't come to the beginning of this. I'm serious. Gotta love Trishy. I love my girl Trishy. My Trishy girl. I'm gonna see her because I'm going to Stitches West because I'm teaching. I'm very excited. You guys, I just love it. I just love teaching. I love seeing my students. I love that, I love the people who love me. The people that don't like me, they can go fuck themselves. Seriously, I'm just serious. Like I'm now old. You know you're old when you just say, people who don't like me, go fuck yourself, because I'm actually a really nice person. I'm a throwdown bitch when I'm threatened, let me tell you. And I tell people this and they never believe me. And then they cross me and then they're like, actually, you're right. You are a throwdown bitch. I am. And I don't let, and like, I don't let shit go. So like let's say somebody just does something and they just weren't thinking. And like someone can let it go. Yeah, that's not me. I don't let it go. I don't let anything go. And I actually am noticing that about myself a lot more lately. That I don't let a lot go. You know, it could be like a little mistake, and it's not like I attack the person viciously, but I let them know. I'm like, you know what? this is what's called a boundary, and what you did is completely unacceptable. And if you want to be my friend, then you have to be more aware, because I don't tolerate this kind of stuff. Basically, that's what I do. And so, like, let's say somebody actually just made sort of a mistake. In their mind, I think they're thinking, wow, what happens when I do something intentional? I eviscerate you. That's what blocks are for. Anyway, okay, hi you guys. Jelly, Allison Blair 83. Hey you. Hey Lisa Wonderly. Hello from South Dakota. Hello from California. Amber, Myra, Lara, Trishy Spit. Oh my God, Sean shouldn't. No, Sean has enough to do, Trish. Believe me. Kelly, and of course Renee's Crochet. Catherine Rainey, I love you. You better be here, darn it. I was wondering why you are. And Vienne, okay, I'm sure you heard that your stuff is coming. It was just packed today, even though the label was done before. And Diana and Susie Q and Christine and Michelle. Yes, the spin, and you guys, and I wanted to get it. So I put a post up on Facebook. Let me see if did I miss anybody. I probably did. CW, hello, and Teresa. And I want to make sure I did say Stephanie, and I just say, okay, I gotta go. I think I got everybody, and if I didn't, I totally apologize. But so I can't talk about the darn. I want to really talk about this spin along and knit along. But what basically what it boils down to is this: like I am not a procrastinator. I'm actually a person who does everything ahead of time. But it is shocking how much I have to do, and I keep saying that. I know you guys are sick of hearing it, but like even today. There were other things that I was, like my tooth, you guys. This tooth thing was 3 days this week at the dentist, and then it just broke. So they did a root canal. You guys are like, we don't give a shit about your tooth. They did a root canal, and the mother effer broke. So now I don't know if they're going to be able to, in the old days, they did your root canal and put the crown on the same day. Apparently, at least Indian Health, that's not what they do. They dig it out and, like, get rid of, the root, or what, and all the nerves, etc., and then they leave it for 2 weeks, probably so you'll break it, so that they don't actually have to do a root canal, and then you go somewhere else and have an implant in. I don't know why. That's just what they do. But anyway, they say because they want to make sure all the root's out, and so that it's not rotting in there, or something like that. It doesn't matter. But in the meantime, my tooth broke. So now it broke, and then I was going to super glue it on, but I've done that once, and they said don't ever do that again. And so I had to send Connery out to get the stuff because I had half of my tooth missing. You guys are like, wow. No, it's bad. It's embarrassing, too. It's all really embarrassing. I don't know why it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because it seems like I don't take care of my teeth, but I do eat a lot of candy. That is part of the problem. And I will tell you that this is all due to candy. Because the one filling came out because I was chewing on Jolly Ranchers. They're not for chewing because they're the hard candy. You know how it sticks to your teeth? And then the other one was just an old filling, probably from chewing on Jolly Ranchers like 20 years ago. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I don't. But because I want to torture you and bore you with the fact that I have tooth problems. Anyway, that's why, part of the reason. And then I have all the other stuff, like the planting the hay was a big deal. And then I sheared a bunch, and I was trying to get ready for the sale, which of course that's how I make my living, you guys, the sale. And thank you, Myra, you buy a lot, and I appreciate it. But I do, that's how I pay my bills, right? And so I need to do it, but other things kept getting bumped, because much more pressing things needed to be done. And then today, the guy, my Muslim friend came to buy animals from me, and that's money too. So when he comes, I knew I was going to get this done today and get it listed because I had spun all the yarn. I dyed all the yarn necessary because remember I had to dye yarn because this is what we're doing. For those people who are doing bulky yarn, you really should alternate with commercial. So I had to dye that. I used, you guys, and then this is so stupid. Either I had a dream that somebody bought a scrap box that was the ladybugs, the mushrooms and ladybugs one, or they're never going to get it until they complain because I spent time dyeing the entire thing and putting it all together, and then I'm looking for the label, I can't find it, and I go in my PayPal, I can't find anybody that bought it. I went in my email, I couldn't find anybody that bought it. Yeah, so I spent time doing that too. I don't know, you guys, all I can tell you is that time is a precious commodity when you get old, and I don't seem to have any of it. And I actually started crying the other day. Again, you're like, well, all you do is cry? Yes, pretty much at this point. And I was crying because my kids, and they never get to do anything fun. Like since Jory died, I don't even remember what they've done that was fun. And it makes me feel tremendously bad for them. Like I used to hunt and fish, and hunt and fish and play basketball and tennis when I was young. Growing up, my kids, you know, basically they get to clean they get to clean chicken coops. Yeah, they get to, you know, my son, I was at the dentist, and the Muslim guys came again, and they needed to get sheep, and so I told Connery, he's like, they're here, and I was like an hour away, and I said, you need to grab the dogs and go do it. And so he grabbed, I get a call later, like an hour later, and he says, I tried to use the dogs, and Nesta turned tail and ran, and exactly at the moment that an Airbnb opened the door, she ran in. You guys, it's muddy. There's like this deep of mud. She ran in and jumped on the couch and tried to hide. And then I said, I was so mad. I said, I am so irritated right now, like, because I'm picturing like this Airbnb filthy and her couch filthy, that, you know, the furniture in there is very expensive. It's not cheap. And I'm just picturing like the bad review that I'm going to get because the dog, I can't even tell you. And then of course I try not to ream him for it because Connery's, you know, he's a recovering alcoholic and it's not nice, right? He tried, but he has a very aggressive personality and it scares the dogs. And then I said, well, did you try and use Lacey? And he said, yeah, she turned and ran too. And then I really wanted to kill him, but I didn't. So him and Dane, my 15-year-old that weighs like 80 pounds, this is a pretty big paddock. It's like a quarter acre. They had to themselves without the dogs, because one of the 3 dogs will work for them. For Connery, he would have worked for all of them would have worked for Dane, the 15-year-old, because Dane's not scary. But Connery, his whole come by, like that just like sends them, or like away. Like the way he does is he wants to be like kind of showy offy. And when you do that, they'll just, I mean, if they don't know you, if I do it like that, you know, tough to them, they know me, they trust me. They don't trust him. They had to go in a mud. It was like mud. It was like pig wrestling. They had to catch them. And then I told them, you can't take anything that looks like a Teeswater or anything that looks like a Wensleydale. It has to look like a cross, meaning that it has white hairs on its nose. So there were only like 2 sheep in there that didn't look like Teeswaters, purebred Teeswaters, or Wensleydales. So and there were like, 10 sheep in there, about 125 pounds each. And Dane literally weighs 80 pounds. They had to catch him. Yeah. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. I used to do it, but I roped him. I just used a rope, a lariat. That was fun. I was really skinny then. I am skinny still, but I was really skinny then because I'm chasing after sheep and roping them. But once you pass like 80 sheep, you get into the 300s, you can't rope them anymore. There's not enough time in the day. Okay. Anyway, hey. And then Christine says she loves swearing and sex talk. Oh, I love sex. You're like, stop it. Stop those hormones, Natalie. Oh my gosh. Miss Shelley says that she can run off and take one of my classes on his next vacation. He's never going to have a vacation now because he knows you're going to run off. And then Amber says, she's telling Stephanie that she's close to her in Hastings. Miss Dahlia, hello you. And then Susan, a bit of honey. And then Renee says, I don't know how you have time to do all you do it well. I do find the time to drink. I'll tell you that. I'm dead serious. Like alcohol and me are like this now. I mean, I told you, I don't even care anymore. Like because I have friends that are in recovery, and I say, well, now I've turned into an alcoholic, and they're like, you're not an alcoholic. And I say, stop arguing with me, I am too. No, you're not an alcoholic, Natalie. And then I guess this is one barometer apparently, is, will you drink any beer? And I'm like, never. Like, I won't drink any beer. Like, if you just had, like, let's say, I don't know, dark beer, or you had a craft brew, I'm not drinking it. It has to be shitty American beer or I'm not interested. Because cheap American beer just tastes like water with a tiny bit of alcohol. Like it's got a tiny buzz and it's sparkly, like Perrier, and I love Perrier. So I love, refreshing beer. I don't want to have to eat my beer with a fork and a knife, and that's kind of what craft brew is like. Plus it seems so yuppie. Like I'm not into that whole like yuppie thing. I'm just not. Speaking of yuppie, you guys, I'm going to read in just a second. Connery, my son, the 28-year-old, he got his hair cut. Like, Connery's a good-looking guy. Really good-looking. But he got a haircut. He looks great with his shaved head. Amazing. Got his haircut that looks exactly like Mr. T circa 1980. Like it goes up like this. It's so bad. It's like shaved on the side. It's literally, I looked at him, and he's got a little bit thin skin. He's got a little thin skin. I saw him and I'm like, I vomit truth on everybody. Poor thing. So I go, oh my God. I go, Connery, like, what happened to your hair? You look like Mr. T circa 1980. And his face turns beet red. He gets all defensive. He goes, Mr. T was bald in 1980. I'm like, oh no, he wasn't. So I put it up on Google. I get an image and I go, bam, shaka laka laka. And he looks at it and he just bursts out laughing because it was true. It's totally true. And then so this morning I saw him and I was like, hey Connery, I'll give you $20 if you go get the rest of your hair cut off because it looks really bad. He's like, no, I think I'm going to rock this. I'm like, okay, suit yourself. But you're not going to be getting any chicks unless you're talking about like leghorns or Cornish crosses because the girls are going to run the other way. I mean, it looks so bad. It looks like it looks like he was like in a time machine. It's really bad. I know that's hard to believe, but it really does look weird. It's like having a mullet. If someone had a mullet right now, you would totally be like, oh my God, the 1990s are back. And then Michelle says, you have a link to where we can buy. See, now you're making me feel bad because you know what? Hi, Carol. Hi, Rave on Studio. Carol, how are you? Carol has the best. My husband is addicted to her garlic. That sounds like it's a euphemism. Carol, Sean's addicted to your garlic. We all know what that means, right? Anyway, no, seriously, he is. She grows garlic. It's amazing. No, and she sends like some of it is the stuff that's on the. It's like okay, here we go. Euphemisms again. No, but it's like the hard stems, and then it's at the bottom. Like it's that sounds so. Everything you say. I mean, when you're talking about, I've talked about this. I think in the first one of these that everything you say about spinning, hand spinning, sounds naughty like orifice, and you're like, there's many things, you know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In answer to the question about scrap boxes, what'll happen is I'm going to put a link to the scrap boxes and to either the scrap boxes or to Comb Top, and so you can buy either. I mean, nobody has to buy anything, you guys. Like nobody has to buy anything. You guys can use the stuff that you have at home. You can just knit with commercial yarn, whatever it is you want to do. You can just do it. But everybody is invited to the tutorial, and the place you have to go is Reading. It's facebook.com/groups with an S/Reading Method. That's all you have to do. We don't try to. It's just because that's where it's going to be at. That's where the tutorials you're going to see them. You'll see them on Reading Method, and so you just ask to join the group. Trisha and Kristen run it, and so they just like to. They just keep. There's some reason I'm not exactly sure what it is where you have to ask to join it. I think you know what it is because we did a whole bunch of free stuff. Like we did a year's worth of free tutorials on Teach It Tuesday for people, and they didn't want people taking them and sharing them in other people's groups, and so they get very protective. I love them. But anyway, so that's why, so that people can't share the information that we give to the people that are in our group for free. And then there's other things on there like you can sell your stuff on Wool Wednesday, and for things that are fiber things on Wool Wednesday, and then like there's Fiber Notions Friday where there's things associated with fiber, and so it just helps people. We try to help people that don't have a base, but have a store but don't have a base, have a bigger base by being able to market to the people that are in the group, and it helps people in the group too because you get first crack at there's some pretty awesome artists that have stuff for sale, or fleeces that are not super expensive that people can buy there, and it helps the farmer, and it helps people that want to buy things at a deal. And not everything's cheap, but I don't sell my stuff on there, by the way. I don't compete with people on Reading Method. My stuff I sell on my Namasti Farms page. Once or twice a month I'll have a sale, and I was supposed to have it this weekend, but I didn't get it done. And actually, Kristen wasn't here anyway, so it doesn't matter. And Tristan and Kristen have to run it for me because I can't. I don't have the organizational skills. I can barely actually get people's orders right after they tell me what to do. Like seriously, like Kristen puts it in a spreadsheet, and I mean I can't. If you're a customer of mine, I've fucked up your order at least once, guaranteed it. But I always make it right. But I do feel terrible about that. But it's, and Kristen's so perfect about like organizing it. I think she's probably only made one mistake. Ever. I mean, really. She just doesn't make mistakes. So at this point, when she says something went awry, I know it's me. I just say, okay, I know somewhere I messed up and I'm going to have to figure out what that is. But anyway, so my sale though is going to probably be, probably this Sunday on Facebook. But I don't compete with people on Reading Method. I do it on my other page. I told you that because I don't want people to think that I'm like I don't use it personally, Reading Method, to sell my stuff because I don't think it's right. I mean, I put like notices up for where I'm going to be somewhere, if I'm having a sale, but I don't list my stuff there. Anyway, moving on. Okay. So Nancy Pearl thinks craft beer is ridiculous. Me too. And then Amber likes light and limey beer. And then, oh my God. Okay, let's see. Wait a second, wait. Let's see. And then Renee Crochet says, at least Connery doesn't have a man bun. That's the worst. That's so funny because I still think they're sexy. Isn't that it's bad, huh? I do think they're kind of sexy. And then, let's see, Christine said her husband had a mullet when they got married. Those pictures must be priceless. And Carol says garlic gold, and then Amber says the man bun is this decade's mullet. Yeah, you guys, so are man buns bad, really? Because I think they're so hot. And then Carol says the combed top looks yummy. And then purple mermaid, it looks very pretty. Let's see, what fibers in the comb top? Merino, Nancy, that's merino, and I think all of them have silk in it. They're all silk merino. So there's going to be 3 different colors of comb top, which I will show you later. You guys are like, stop torturing us. I'm just going to tell you a couple stories. Don't worry, I'm not going to get too heavy today. My neck is really on fire. I'm going to have surgery. I'm quite sure. You're like, stop. We have to hear about your tooth. We have to hear about your headaches. We have to hear how tired and busy you are. And now we're going to have to hear about your neck. Yes. You guys, come on. Give the girl a break. She's getting old. Oh, hi, Mary Holmes. Let's see. And Trishy says, it's so people feel safe. She feels more comfy knowing no one can see when she goes live in the group. Oh, I see. That's true too. So like it is, you guys, for those of you who have never done anything live, you should do it just once in your life because it makes you empathize. I am telling you, I know most people know this, but when I did Blog Talk for 2 years, I don't think I ever got to the place where when that red light turned on, I didn't instantly, my stomach drop and me go into a panic. Mentally, I mean, on the outside, it seemed probably like I was fine, but on the inside, and they can't see you on Blog Talk, right? But I used to say I would be sick, like I would start getting sick on Monday, that on Thursday I had to do Blog Talk. I'm not kidding you. And I had a co-host, so I had somebody helping me, right? And then I had a lot of guests. You know, this is totally different, but I wouldn't be able to do this if I hadn't done 2 years of Blog Talk, a television show on a network, right? And then, you know, countless live streams, and then teaching. I mean, I can't tell you how many classes I've taught live on YouTube live, but you know, they're hidden. Nobody knows about them because you would have to pay for the class. People would have to pay for the class. But if it wasn't for those, I couldn't do what I'm doing right now, because it seems like it would not be that difficult. You just like do your thing, but the silence is deafening because nobody is talking back to you or communicating or giving you any feedback. Even if you read in chat, it's much different than actually having somebody interact with you, because it's 1000% up to you to keep the content going. And then it's not just that. It's not just keeping the content going. You have to think very quickly. There can't be any dead air. And I have to tell you, so Trisha decided she was going to, I mean, how hard could it be? Because I do it, Natalie does it all the time, right? Trisha said she went and did a live stream on the first time on Ready Method. She said, Natalie, I never understood. She goes, I was all, and everything, like, it's like your mouth becomes dry, and it feels like your hands aren't your hands. You're like working with someone else's hands. I'm telling you, but I truly believe if you don't want to do something or you're afraid of doing it, you should do it. Do it. Because fear should not keep you back from anything. Like fear of, even if you want to make a store, like let's say you want to do a store because you want to support your fiber habit, but you're afraid that your stuff isn't good enough, you better make a store. Don't ever let fear ever hold you back. Because it's better at the end of your life when you reflect on it that you took risks and that you had experiences rather than you were safe in your little cocoon and didn't try new things and didn't confront your fears. I mean, and I even now today, like I am not a person that likes, I mean, I'm not an introvert, but I really am not a big on going places and going and doing things because first of all, I'm very, very busy, and you know, I have a family, right? And I have a lot of work and I'm exhausted most of the time, but The other night we were supposed to go to a barbecue. My friend invited Jenny, my friend, who I adore, as you guys know, but she stays in way too much. And it's worrisome. Like, it worries me. I might not hear from her for, a few days, and then she'll be like, well, I wasn't, I was kind of depressed, or, whatever. And it breaks my heart. So, it was in Newport Beach, and it was a bunch of his yachting, boating friends, etc., and other people. But I think most of them do stuff. It's Balboa Island, which is a little island, a part of Newport Beach, I think. And there's like, what are they called? There's docks, etc., and boats all around the whole thing. And they wanted to go to barbecue, and I went because, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to meet, and someone could change your life. But if you don't go out and experience life and put yourself out there to meet people, then and there's so many people I've met because I've done things I didn't want to do that are lifelong friends. I have one lifelong friend now, Naomi. I miss her so much. She only lives in Huntington. She lives in Huntington, and I used to, when I was trying to become successful, one of the things that I did is I promised myself I would do at least one thing every day to try and become better known, to become, more visible in the fiber community, because you have to be visible. If you have no visibility, you're not relevant. You have to have visibility. And it was painful for me because I don't want rejection. Nobody does, right? And so all the new people that would join Ravelry, this is like, 11, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, new people that join, it shows who the new people are. And so I would kind of go like this and pick one person, and then I would write to them and I'd say, hey, my name is Natalie Reddy, and I have, Namaste Farms, and, I would love it if you join my group. And, I would just write a little something, and then it was never canned. It was what I'd do is I'd go and look at their stuff, because I don't believe in like form letter type things. I'd go and look at their stuff, and I would learn a little bit about them. And then I would just, if there was something in common, then I would bring that up. And then I said to her, please don't be a stranger. And that, for some reason, just struck her, and she became one of my, I love Naomi. She's the one that did my business cards. She's done so much for me. I love her. You're like, yeah, what a great friend. She's done so much for you. No, but we in turn have done for each other. But she'll come and help me on the farm. She's just a great person that I'm so glad that I got to meet. And it was because I did something I didn't want to do. I don't want to be rejected. I still don't want to be rejected, but I've been rejected a lot now, so I'm kind of used to it. Seriously. And that's the thing, like fear of rejection. If you have a fear of rejection, you just have not been rejected enough. And Jack Ma, you guys have got to look up Jack Ma from Alibaba. On YouTube they have a couple of videos of him talking. And if you want to feel better about yourself, go watch one of those videos with Jack Ma talking. I mean, you look at him and he looks like a cartoon character. He can't possibly be real. And when he talks, his accent is so heavy, it's like, that can't be real, but it is real. And then his stories, the way he's saying them, they're so painful, but the way he's saying them with this weird accent, and he looks very odd, you can't stop watching him, and you can't stop listening to him, and you fall in love with what he's telling you. But basically, he's telling you that everybody faces rejection, and how much rejection he has had, and he is the founder of Alibaba. So, a multi-gazillionaire. You have to put yourself out there. That's the bottom line. You're like, wow, we're inspirational tonight. That's right. That's what we try. Okay, let's see. Stephanie says, you turn 50 and finally can say fuck it. No time to wish you up. Yes. And then Renee Crochet Design said, that's why I started my YouTube channel, to step out of my comfort zone. Hallelujah. Ms. Shelley says, I started a mommy Instagram page where I basically share my screw-ups and battle with depression as a mom. Freaking terrifying putting your flaws out in public. It is. Ms. Shelley, everybody, you should share your page. You can share your page here. And then it'll probably try to not show it, and then I'll click show it. Like your Instagram, whatever it is, or your YouTube, whatever it is you want to share with people, please do. Feel free. I'm honestly, and you can do the same thing in Reading Method. If you go and you join our Facebook group, you can share. You can. Like there's decorum. There's really no rules just for selling stuff. There's certain days that they want people to sell things. They do, like, I blame it on them. But other than that, you guys feel free, because I want you guys to be able to have more people be part of your fan base. It's good. Success is good for everybody. I'm not threatened by even another fiber artist success. I'm not threatened by it, as long as I'm not going to give my. I will still defend my territory by being good to my customers. If I lose my customers to somebody else, it means I wasn't trying very hard. It doesn't mean, it's not the other person's fault that they took my customers. It's my fault for letting them take my customers. That's the way I look at it. You're like, well, let's see. Because I know someone else I'm going to buy from. Just kidding. Don't do it. It hurts my feelings. Okay, moving on. Okay. And then Susan says she usually regrets not doing something. And wait a second. Even a flop is an opportunity for growth. Hallelujah to that. And then Carol says she gives me an enormous amount of credit, or gives you an enormous. She might be talking to someone. She could be talking. I'm going to pretend she's talking to me. She gives me an enormous amount of credit. And then let's see. Carol says she misses Blog Talk. And Allison Blair says, we care about you. That is so nice, because I don't know that, and I hope you're talking to me. And then Stephanie Price, hello hey from Ontario, Canada. Hey from California. That's a mud hole. And wait, there's more. And then Amber says she's terrified to sell her shit. Okay, so Amber, you and I are going to have to talk about this, because, Amber, first of all, I love you. But second of all, you have to. You can't, you guys, listen, I'll tell you. You have no idea how profoundly fearful I am of rejection, and I get it all the time. I do. I get rejection all the time. I apply for stuff all the time, like to teach places, and they don't even, I mean, they could care, but I don't care anymore. I don't care about them anymore, because there's reasons they don't like me, and a lot of it is because I'm successful. And it's just, it bothers people. It bothers a lot of people. And so would I rather trade them liking me for my success? Shit, no. And then what about people who don't like, the people that don't like what I send them? That does, believe it or not, happen. And so you know what I do? When they don't like my stuff and they say, usually people will go, okay, the people who know me don't go nuclear. The people who know me would just say, hey, Natalie, I didn't realize this was this. And I say, no problem. Keep it. I'll send you your money back. You can have it. Or, you know, do you want something else? Right? Because I want my customers to be happy. But other people that don't know me, it's like they can go, let's say, like someone ordered, and they ordered filament, silk filament. Silk filament is reeled silk. So it looks like thread, but it doesn't have any twist. It's literally reeled off of the cocoon. Okay? And somebody ordered silk filament, and, you know, and then they wrote me, and they're like, you know, this is the worst embroidery thread I've ever seen. Really? Because it's called silk filament, not embroidery thread. There's a reason it's not called embroidery thread, because it's not thread, right? But I didn't say that. I just said, I am so sorry that it didn't meet your expectations. And then I said, let me refund your money immediately. And just for future reference, so that you know. And then I was really nice, and I just told them. But for the first thing, but they go nuclear because they're afraid you're not going to give them their money back. And that's really what they want. They just, the person does not want to feel taken advantage of. And so, you know, usually a reasonable person will just let you know, really, and then you just make it right. And the scariest part about selling stuff is having people say mean shit to you. But people are going to say mean shit to you. And then you just have to say, when you get mean shit said to you, to yourself, that they're helping you grow. They're helping you grow. And I think the thing is, there's one reason and that's one reason I don't sell on Etsy. I don't sell on Etsy. First of all, I don't have to. But also because the thought of being reviewed is horrible enough when you have an Airbnb. Terrifying. It's terrifying. Terrifying. But, you know, Etsy, you don't, I mean, it's just the people, like, I don't want people buying from me that are unreasonable. And so, like, in my policies, it says, if you don't know a lot about fiber, or if you're unusually picky, please don't buy from me. It does say that, because I don't want, you can go look at my policies. And then Tricia was saying, you need to change your policies, Natalie, because there's some people who won't buy from you because they're afraid to. And I'm like, where in it does it say be afraid? It just says if you're going to be a fucking asshole, don't fucking buy from me, basically is what it says. I don't want that, because I don't need the added stress. I am so responsible, and so, like, I want, the thought of someone thinking that I ripped them off is so horrific for me, I can't even tell you. Like, that I would rather get rid of 15 people out of 100 that are going to be unreasonable than have those 15 and have to lay awake at night wondering how I'm going to make them happy. Because you know what? There's a saying in retail that a high maintenance person is always a high maintenance person. There is no, they were high maintenance this time and now they're going to be good. No, that's not how it works. So just weed them out early. Trisha was like, could Natalie, she wrote me, she goes, because I usually do everything they tell me. Like, if they tell me to do something, those girls, I do it. She writes, she goes, Natalie, could you please change the policies? You know, a couple of people haven't wanted to buy from you because of the policy thing, and I said, no, I can't. That's what I said. It's like the only time I think I've ever told her no. Honestly, like pretty much anything Trisha wants, she gets. But that one, I was like, no. I actually just said no. Okay, here I'm showing, and then I'm showing. So if you get all, I will unblock it. It does it automatically. Wait a second, I'm gonna have to scroll up. I'm sorry. I apologize, you guys. Okay, and then I'm back at Renee's Crochet Design Set. That's why I started my YouTube channel, Step It Over Comfort Zone. And Ms. Shelley said the Instagram, okay. And then the 50, okay. And then Mandolin says, hello, Arkansas. The weather is bipolar here. One day 18 degrees, the next 81. Holy mac, that's not good for crops or anything, by the way. And Lara said, so true. If you don't like rejection, you haven't been rejected enough. Gives you thick skin. Yeah, I hate to get it that way, but it's true. It makes you grow up. It makes you grow up. And then Amber says, I sent some of my rabbit fur to someone I admire on YouTube, and she loved it, but I'm brand new to fiber, and I told her I had a business. I had to make up social media accounts in about 2 days. She loved it. That's a good thing. That's obviously, but I mean, that's good. But just know, I mean, it is hard because at first you don't have any idea if, like, you think you could be crazy. I mean, that happened to me too. I'm like, maybe my stuff sucks. I don't know. And then I started, one of the reasons I got, you know, my fiber got really pretty good was I used to buy, she's dead now. And I loved her, Myrtle Dow, but she, I bought some onesies and teaswatters from her, and she would win everything. Every time the fleece, her fleece would be a sheep show, she'd win championship. And so I started brokering fleece from her. I started buying all of her fleece and then turning around and reselling it. And she loved it because then she didn't have to put pictures up of her fleece, right, on something. She would just, whatever, she would just send me whatever she had. And I would be putting my hands in all these fleeces because I'd be having to repackage and pack them, you know. And I started figuring out how she did it. And my fleeces got better after that. And then, oh, Mandolin, you started fiber business and been spinning since December. And Julie said you should, okay, Dirt Patch Heaven, Julie said that you should check me out. Thank you so much. And tell Julie, thank you so much, too. I really appreciate that. And then Trishy's saying that there's no drama in Reading Method. Everyone has mutual respect and is very chill. That is true. And then Trishy says she's terrified, and she is. But she has sold stuff, and everybody loved it. Okay, Ms. Shelley says, my mommy IG handle is The Messy Mother. If you need a good laugh or want to know you're not the only one making things up as we go, go to her place. Go to her Instagram. And I'll do it. I don't know if I'm following you, but I will. And then I'd be happy to tell people about anyone's fiber on my channel. Just let me know. We do need to help each other out. We really do. And then Diana says, thank you, Nanny. I need to hear this today. I should put myself out there more. You should, Diana, if you want to. I'm telling you guys, you don't know. You don't know. Actually, at this point, I'm going to tell you, I mean, I get really bummed out. Like, Trisha had a bunch of messages for me today. I talked to her, I think it was yesterday, or day before, anyway. But I just saw it telling me that Trisha was, like, pinging me, essentially, like, with instant messenger. And my stomach dropped, because usually if she texts me that many times, something's wrong, like I've done something to someone's order, right? Or something's wrong. And so, like, I didn't even want to look. Because there's a couple of levels. It used to be, it would kill me because I'd open my email and someone wasn't happy or something, right? But now I feel embarrassed that two people who love me, Kristen and Trisha, support me, and I disappointed somebody in some way. And so they feel disappointed and embarrassed for me. So, like, I feel like shamed. I feel shamed. They don't shame me, but I feel shame because I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt Trisha and Kristen, because they work really hard and they try, you know, they promote me and they say nice things about me, and then now I've done something bad or something that someone isn't happy with. So it's like a whole nother level of, you know, like, it feels really, makes my stomach turn. But she was actually calling or messaging me because we got a bunch of new people because of the spin along, knit along. Like, I want to say, was it 90, 70, 75? Let me make it 90, but I think it's 72 or 75. I can't remember. And people joined Ready Method today because we're going to be doing the spin along, knit along. And that's free, you know. Even people who aren't buying something can do it. No, I'm gonna teach people how to spin again on the chopstick. I'm gonna go back over it, but then I'm gonna teach people how to both make the yarn that's the traditional type looking yarn, and then I'm also gonna teach people how to do an art yarn with the other scrap box, because there's gonna be 2 different scrap boxes, because some people don't want to make art yarn. Some people want to make a traditional yarn. So, and then I'm going to teach people how to just beginning knit, just the knit stitch on, you know, the circular needles, so that people that are crochet artists can knit, or people that have never knit can knit this hat with us, right? And then, but anyway, so it was good news, but the fear. And the other thing is when I teach something, I don't have time to like teach it to someone first before I teach it online. So I could completely fall on my face, and it's live, and there's nothing I can do. Right? I'm gonna just blow chunks. And don't think other people won't hear about, oh my God, Natalie was so bad today. Like she made a mistake, and like it was, like, believe me, there are people out there that relish the thought of me like completely blowing chunks. Which is sad. People can be evil. People can be evil. Because anybody can be successful. You just have to have a lot of courage and follow through, and be good at what you do. You have to be good at what you do, and so the other thing about you guys about business is that you may decide what you want to sell somebody, but that doesn't mean they're going to want to buy that particular thing that you are offering them. But that doesn't mean they're not going to buy something else. So when I first started, believe it or not, I couldn't sell my fiber very well, and my fiber was, you know, I learned from Myrtle, and but it didn't sell near as well as my yarn. And I was like, I didn't really like my yarn that much, but people loved my yarn. So I made just a shit ton of money working for Yarn Market and selling yarn, making it. But it was a grind. I felt like a Chinese sweatshop because I didn't get to take care of my animals anymore. All I was doing was making yarn. I was every day was sitting at a spinning wheel making yarn. And so, but the yarn gave me a platform to become well known, so that then people wanted my fiber. But at first they didn't want my fiber. And there's things to this day that if I try to sell them, people don't get it. They're like, they don't really get it. And so maybe there'll be a couple people that know that if I sell something, it's probably going to be good. Or if it's not great, you're going to know, because I'm going to tell you why it's not great, right? But you have to be flexible enough to understand that you don't get to pick what people want from you. And just because they didn't want that doesn't mean that they're not going to want something else from you. You have to be flexible enough to be able to, and objective enough, or be able to take criticism enough where you can listen to somebody give you advice on what they think is the reason, or completely change your business model. I'm dead serious, you guys. This is really, I'm telling you, really good stuff here. This is really good stuff, because I want you to be successful. I want every single one of you to, if that's what you want, I want you to be successful. And you can be successful. You really can. You're like, wow, that's so inspirational. I wish someone would have told me this stuff early on. I just felt like a complete and utter failure. Okay, let's see. Allison Blair. Hang on. Oh, and then Christine said, actually, your policies on non-elastic farms is why I wanted to buy from you. Straightforward and honest. Thank you so much. And you've actually been a blessing as a customer, even though I have messed up your order countless times. You should. I mean, like, I actually have. And I've messed up Vienne's order, too. I mean, there's not a person on here that buys from me that I don't think I've messed up their order. I'm going back up. I'm sorry. And then Susan said, some people are just shitheads. Hallelujah to that one. And Mandolin says to Michelle, oh my God, I'm winging it half the time with a 2-year-old. And Stephanie says, I spin, weave, and dye wool at a living history museum and had to learn to put on a show and have people watch every move and critique everything. I learned opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Hallelujah to that one too. And then Saddlebat is one on the house makes for good business. One on the house makes for good business. Yes, one on the house does make for good money. I'll tell you. Well, the way I say it sounds a little bit more crass. But I tell this, so like when Kristen or like Trisha say such and such isn't happy, I say throw money at them. Just throw money at them. I don't care what it takes. Just throw money at them. I really do say that. Just throw money at them. Because I want happy people. I don't want any happiness. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to wonder about it. Just like fix it. Fix it with money. Give them back their money. Just whatever it is that they need, do it. Because I literally, it's not worth, It is not. I'll tell you, the business owner that fights with the customer, not a smart idea. That doesn't mean I haven't done it, by the way. I haven't fought with them, but I've ejected people. So I've ejected, you know, I don't think that many, maybe. I think that I can think of right off the top of my head. I can't think of their names, but I would guess maybe about 5 people. I've not allowed them to be my customer for various reasons. And that's not very many considering how many customers I have over the, you know, I guess maybe 15 years. About 5, probably. But, yeah, throw money at them, or that's better, you know, one on the house. And Vienne says, years ago she had a successful shop, and once in a blue moon you'd get just a dick no matter what you did. They wanted to bitch. That's actually the truth, unfortunately. And Christine says, okay, yeah, okay, wait, we already heard that. Okay, I'm never good at promoting myself. I only do. I know, Nancy, and you're really talented. Nancy's actually really, really talented. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. There was a gal that was you know, she was on Facebook for a while, and she was from England, and I used to visit with her, and she was like, I want to know how Nancy Pearl, how come her weaving looks so good? Is there something that, does she have like a special technique or something? And it really is that Nancy has a lot of freedom and isn't afraid of color. And so if you have a lot of freedom and you're not afraid of color, I think that your artistry looks different, even though it's not that it's technically different. It's that you just have, your aesthetic is just is different than the person that, you know. So she was thinking she did some magical type of weaving. Like, I don't know what that would be, but it's just that her aesthetic and her idea, her understanding of texture and color together. Because you need to understand that if you have a lot of texture and you have a lot of color and contrast with the color and a lot of texture, you can just make a mess. So there's this thing where there's this balance where you have to be able to do, you have to know when you can be like quasi like gaudy, not really gaudy, but you know, where you can overdo it and it's still going to work, and when minimalism is better. And then little L was, I was totally inspired to start spinning after seeing art yarn. And then Madeline says, I have a family and craft YouTube channel and I absolutely effing hate editing. I don't, Madeline, do you know this is why do you know why I do things live? Bam, right there. Because I don't have the time nor the desire to edit. I don't. Plus, if I know it's being recorded, I will like do a great job. If I do a great job, and then like in the middle of it, I'll just screw it up. I'll screw it up, and then I'll try to restart, and we'll lose my train of thought of what was said before, and I'm just like, you know what? With all the warts and blemishes, I'm just gonna do it live. Like, that's just the way I roll. I roll, and all my classes are live. That's just the way I do it, because it's just, life is too short. I kind of feel the same way about plied yarn, right? Life is too short. You spun it once. I don't want to spin it again. That's not that I don't make plied yarn. I just prefer to not make plied yarn. I'd rather have singles. Okay, let's see. Allison Blair says, that makes my chances of winning the giveaway much more tricky, but I'm glad they're here with us. I tell people about you all the time, and you crack me. Wait, what makes your chances of winning that giveaway much more tricky? Wait, I don't get it. Why? Why is that tricky? No, it's not tricky. No. Because I try to pick it randomly. So you have a chance still. And if I picked someone like that had already gotten one right away, like last week or the week before, I mean, people can win more than once, believe me. I have no problem with that. Because I like to give shit away. I have a lot of shit to give away. I mean, I raise sheep, for God's sake. I have wool ad nauseum. So, I mean, you can still win, Allison Blair. Oh my God, Allison Blair. You're making me sad. I'm going to talk about crying in a minute. And then CW says, I miss Yarn Mark. I love shopping from them. Yes, I do too. And then Gail says, hi, Natalie, looking great tonight. Thank you. I would like to take my jacket off. I can't because I'm not wearing my nipple covers, and it's really vulgar. But I actually do like my outfit. Wait. Oh, Miss Shelley says, those people can eat feet. No need to be mean. Even the most amazing people make mistakes. Yes, I really love watching real people over watching a well-rehearsed performance. Yeah, I got to do it live. Well, Allison, you're going to win. Already, I'm telling you. Because you said that. Don't do that. Don't do that, because now you're going to have to win. I'm going to make sure you do. Okay, customer, I'll pick someone, more people, less chance. Stop it. No, you're going to win. Let's see. And then Nancy said, that's funny, and I'd love to know who was... yes, I do know who it is. Wait, let me think about this. She doesn't like me anymore, by the way. Okay, I said blessings once. Not once, I say it all the time. I go blessings. I learned it from, I just learned, you know what, it's just a nice way to end something. Because sincerely sounds so like sterile. So I said blessings, and she said, oh, were you a Wiccan? I was like, no. She's like, that's a Wiccan term, and I'm a Wiccan. I have nothing against, I have nothing. There's no judgment. I'm just saying that I didn't know. It's like in the know, like when you're a swinger and you say, like, are you of the lifestyle? Wink, wink. And I'm like, I'm not down for that. At all. Not at all. Hashtag diseases. If just like swapping spit with a complete stranger isn't enough, the diseases is. Yeah, because everybody wants to sleep with someone who slept with anybody. Not. I'm a little bit, yeah, I have to be, plus I have to, I mean, there's like the saying I have, it's like, okay, you guys are going to think this is really crass. I'm going to say it anyway. I say, I want them to want my hole, not any hole. I know it's gross. You guys, I talk like a truck driver. Shh. That, we can just pretend that I didn't say that. But I do say that jokingly, but really. I can't believe I just said that. And then Stephanie says, I was gifted to some of your women. It was amazing to work with. I can't wait to get more. Not all of it is amazing, but I let people know when it's not. Yes, it was. It was Nancy. Nancy knows who it was. How did you know? It was. It actually was. She hates me now. I can't remember where we got in a scuffle over something. She said, I said something to her and she got blowed up. She thought she misunderstood me, actually. She misunderstood me. And when she, like got really bowed up, I was like, okay, throttle back, bitch. Like, I was just like, calm down. You misunderstood me. Hashtag, shut the fuck up and pay attention to what I said, because that's not what I said. Actually, so the Muslim guys were here today. And I have to tell you again, once again, the guy has a PhD. He just got back from Gambia. I was like, sure, right. No, he did. Anyway, and he's like, so he's picking my brain about raising chickens because he wants to teach them how to raise chickens in Gambia, because apparently they only can raise peanuts over there or something. And then he was like, did you order, because he asked me to order turkeys. He's like, so Natalie, did you order my chickens? And did you order my turkeys? And my guinea hens? And I looked at him and I go, don't worry, baby, I got you. And then I'm like talking to him like that, and then I realized, yeah, maybe I want to like not be quite so familiar. But then I went over and gave him a hug. I gave him a great big hug. I love hugging him. I do love hugging him because I love him so much. He treats me so nicely. He's so nice to me. I know I tell you guys this all the time, but I'm telling you. So his son, Muhammad, is like he's like killing the chickens. He's like killing these chickens, and he's like pulling them apart. And I took a friend of mine, a friend who I met, a new friend, who I met at the barbecue in Newport Beach. His name is Greg, knows a lot about Islam. So he was telling me about some of the pillars of Islam, and he was just in general telling me about what they believe. And I sent Greg a picture of Muhammad killing these, not killing, but he was like processing them. So he's like pulling the skin off or cutting, I don't even know what. And anyway, and he goes, oh, I see the picture of the goat you sent me. So actually I had to think for a minute. And this was just this morning. I was like, I don't think I sent him a picture of a goat. So I re-looked at the picture. It was of a chicken. So then when I talked to him, I go, Greg, maybe, nah, not a goat, not a chicken. He's like, yeah, I thought it looked weird. But it does have very big, large breasts, and they're natural. They're not implants. Huge chickens. They're like turkeys. They're like, even Muhammad and Ibrahim said, both of them, they said, I've never seen such big chickens. I said, that's because you came to the right lady. Like, I went and bought you the Cornish crosses. I didn't buy you some, like, you know, I don't know, like a Rhode Island Red. I got you the right chickens. Natalie, hook you up. It's true, that's what I said. Natalie, hook you up. They're like, why is your voice changing? I said, I don't know. Just kidding, they didn't say that. Okay, let me look. Let me look. Yes, I did finish the story and said it was great news, Trisha. She's afraid that I left you guys thinking that she gave me bad news. I'm reading. Hello, Sharon Stewart from Central Texas, and Cynthia Lemming. Sweet. So great. Okay. And then Nancy Brule said she's a witch. I love her. I loved her too until we fell falling out. Now I don't even think of her. But she was nice before that. And then Catherine said, where do you live, Sharon Stewart? She's in Bastrop. And then Mary Holmes says, tonight has really hit home about not being able to promote yourself. That has really been a problem for me. Okay, I'm telling you guys, like you have to go watch Jack Ma. I'm telling you, you got to find the right one though. You're like, which one is it? But he's talking about how he was rejected from so many things. Honestly, he goes on and on and on until you actually feel sorry for this guy, and you're like, he actually didn't kill himself, because it was like, I want to say, what did he say? How many was it? 25 people were accepted into the police force, and only one wasn't, and the only one that wasn't was him. I mean, every single thing he did was a failure, like a laughable failure. And he just kept casting the line, just kept casting the line, and then he hit Alibaba. I mean, Jesus Christ, this guy is ridiculously wealthy. Not that wealth is a barometer of success, really. It's a barometer, obviously, of monetary success. But is it a barometer of personal success or accomplishment or relationship success? Certainly not. And Mandalay says, thank you for not beating around the bush. It's a fresh breath of fresh air. I know it is. Thank you. It is, because I really am tired of like the thought police. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it because I'm old school. I'm like, I'm just going to say the shit that I'm going to say, and people are either going to like me or they're not, because like, if I filter everything out, you guys, and you like me, it's not real. It's not. Because you don't even know me, because I'm filtering out part of who I am. And a large part of who I am is I'm very provocative. I say sexual things constantly. I mean, constantly. And I have no shame in it. Even like when I'm because it's part of who I am. So even at the barbecue in Newport Beach with, I'm sure it would be, there's a place for decorum. I have it. But until you invite me in front of the Queen, I don't think I need it. Fair? Truthfully. If there's a place where I actually need to show decorum, I can show decorum. Do I want to? Well, I actually think that I have decorum even when I'm swearing, because they're just words. And sex, well, most everybody does it. And I'd say, until you hit like 40, you probably like it. Right? I mean, I'm just saying. So, like, I just don't have any shame in my game. Not that way. I just don't. I just have no shame. I just won't be shamed. I used to be shamed over everything. I used to be shamed. People could shame me over anything. But I don't want to be shamed anymore. I choose not to. And now if you like me, you really like me. I don't have to worry that you only like me if I'm a good girl. And I am a good girl. I'm actually a really good girl. Swearing and talking about sex doesn't make me a bad girl. It makes me an authentic girl. Okay, so, and then Ms. Shelley's saying she's researching chickens and Sotheby's are huge. The Cornish crosses, though, they like finish in 8 to 10 weeks. They're the chicken, I'm not shitting you, this big around. I'm not lying. And I have big hands. My body's skinny, but my hands are very big. And then Trisha's saying she can't promote herself either, and she promotes me no problem. She does promote me no problem. And then she says, Nat lets me do her promoting. I do. And then Trisha says, so if you have a fiber friend who believes in you, that might help you get promoted. I mean, Trisha has been a tireless supporter of me. And I'll tell you, with that comes a lot of responsibility. Because, like, she'll promote my new classes, and then the first day of class, I mean, there's been a couple times where she's like, yeah, you weren't the best. I mean, you did good. The information was good, but, you gotta like, whatever it is that she thinks that I didn't do well, which is hard to hear. It's really hard to hear. But then I take, but then by the next day, because usually the classes, the new ones are ones that are like 4-day classes, like an hour and a half a day for 4 days. And so then I'll take what she said to heart. And some of it usually is if I get nervous, because I can still get nervous. And so I can still be a little bit stiff. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that when I first started teaching online, they were already supporters of mine and they loved me. They loved me. So I know when I'm talking to the camera, nobody's judging me. And then what happened is after like a year of teaching, most of the people that have been following me, for a decade, I started getting people that had never heard of me. And they have different expectations. And if you mess up one thing or you stutter or anything, I would like be self-conscious because I knew that they didn't love me. And so when someone's watching you that doesn't love you, doesn't know you, just heard that you had this class, that they could be waiting for you to fall on your face, and then you start getting like really nervous. So then, I would feel really bad because, you know, they've been promoting me and supporting me and telling people to take my class, and I didn't do as good as she thinks I can do. But then I make up for it, believe me. Let's see. Phineas Pratt, thank you. Hello. And then, Lowell, if you filter things out, we will probably like you less. I would not filter things out. Believe me. I'm good on that. We're good on that, right? And then, oh, wait. Let's see. Gail, it jumped forward. Okay, wait. Let's see. I'm reading. And then Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Amber Holtress said Michael Jordan was cut from his basketball team. Oh, my Lord. And then Mandolin saying she's learning how to stop her filter. And she says, speaking of her channels, are Living Beauty 247 and Daniel and Mandolin. We have a son, a poodle, and a cat. Her channels are Living Beauty 247. That's a good channel. That's a good name. And Daniel and Mandolin. Okay, got you. And then Renee's Crochet says, got to keep it real. And Trisha's very hard on herself. Yes, and that's let's see. Gail says some of us like sex after 40. Are you after 50? I'm telling you, like I hit like I want to say 50. It was 50. It was like 52. It was 52, I think, and I was like, what happened? I would still have liked it, but I was like, it was like on down. It starts moving down on the list. At first, it's first on the list, and it starts, you know, with each decade, it starts getting a little lower and a little lower. And then my girlfriend is just like, okay, it's not going to be like fourth on the list. It's going to be first, and you're going to get hormones. And like they had an appointment the next day. And so like I didn't even like menopause didn't ever happen to me because I went straight to hormones. And then thankfully, because I mean, you know, I actually kind of have, now that I'm on testosterone, you guys, I have a deep I don't want any hate mail over this. I have a sympathy for some men now, because if my husband rejected me, I would be devastated. So let me just say this to all women right now, and I'm serious. Like, until you think about it 24/7, you can't possibly understand. But testosterone makes you think about it pretty much on loop. You're on loop, 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 loop. So what is it that I feel sorry for men? Not for very many things. This is one. That they're always, not always, not all women, I understand this. So I'm just saying the majority of women normally are pursued by a man, and the man's interested in getting frisky. But with women, it's frequent that I hear from both women and men that women, it's more like a duty, and it's more like, okay, sort of thing. And imagine someone doing that to you for an entire relationship. How you would feel. If a man ever did that to me, even once, it would be I'd be so hurt. I'm telling you, for as much as you probably think I have confidence, I am so sensitive about that kind of stuff, about your love for me. If somebody rejects me, it's like you just burnt me. You, like, literally, like, it feels like you burnt my soul. Like, my sense of femaleness and my sense of, like, that all would be gone. In an instant, I would be so devastated and hurt. So I have sympathy for them, towards them, for that I can't imagine what it would. And some men, believe me, men are pigs. They can be total pigs. I know that. No one knows it more than I do. Believe me. Just having been a model, really, and having them like drool and like never stop pursuing you. And I've been like, we can go on about, like the things that have happened to me in my life with men, and a lot of them are really bad. So, but the only area that I feel bad for them is that the men that don't have women that initiate contact, sexual contact, because that would be devastating to me. And if a man is such a pig that a person doesn't want to have sexual contact with him because they want to pursue all women, then you shouldn't be with him. But I mean, if my husband said no, I'd be crushed. And then I'd find someone else. That is true. I'd say, really, you don't want me? I'm certain I can find someone who does. And let's see how fast. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Wait. Does she promote? Wait. You're not... Nancy, are you talking about Lorraine? I thought she hated me. I don't know if you're talking about Lorraine or if you're talking to me or if you're talking to someone else, but I'm telling you, I thought she did not like me one bit. And then, and Nancy, you love me. I love you, Nancy. I really do. I truly do. And then Miss Shelley says, I'm not on Facebook much, but I live on Instagram and love seeing Trisha's post. You do beautiful work. Oh, Trisha, see, you got fanage, you got fanage. Mutual respect, baby. And then Susie Q says, love you for who you are. I'm sorry, I'm reading. And then Trisha's talking about how she's paralyzed by fear of having something she's worked on, and then someone, and that she thinks is amazing to just get rejected, and so she's stuck. Yeah, Trisha, like you and I've had my conversations with Trisha over and over again about this, and what I decided is Trisha isn't desperate enough. Like if you're desperate enough for money, and I was, that's why I finally had to put myself out there, because I was desperate for money, because 2008 happened. And like all the money that we had access to was in bank stocks. And not only that, the guy hung himself. The Reading Bank of Commerce, the guy not only, he first molested somebody, a 15-year-old girl, and got busted, and then hung himself. And what are you, the president of a bank? And then at the same time, the banking crisis around the same time happens. Like, whatever you have, if you have stock, is gone. 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 Adios. And so then I had to, otherwise my animals wouldn't have feet. So Sharon says, yes, quarter squashes are huge, but they must be butchered, yes. When they're, yes. It's literally cruel to keep, yes, it is. They have developed the same real problems as obese humans have. Sharon, none of my chickens had any fat on them, by the way. But you're right. I wanted to keep some back because I can artificially inseminate it. I can artificially inseminate the chickens. But what I should have done is, because I finished them, I should have taken them off food and kept them thin. And put them in because I had them in with some leghorns, some at the same time, chicks from the same hatchery, and so I was feeding them essentially at the same time, and I needed to take those ones that I wanted to keep way before they were at this weight, but so I just ordered a bunch. He took all but one. There's one that isn't big in my mind isn't big enough, but she's right. What happens is they can't even walk. The chickens cannot walk. That's how big they are. But their bones are like this. Their leg bones are this big around. And the leghorns' leg bones are this big around. This big, this big. And so normally you wouldn't put chicks together, that are different breeds like that have wildly different nutritional needs, because the Cornish crosses you're really supposed to take off of food half of the day, essentially, because they'll just eat themselves into oblivion. But because it's winter, I don't have to worry about that, because it's dark and the chickens won't eat in the dark. They can't, because they can't see. So they actually were getting the half on, half off, as opposed to having like a long days. We have short days, and most people don't raise chickens on short days. You're like, we don't really care. We really don't. No, you do, because you're eating the kind of chickens that we're talking about. But Sharon's absolutely right. And then little Ella saying, a coworker was telling her that what others think of you is none of your business. That's funny. Don't hide yourself to impress someone else. It's really hard, you guys. It is hard, though, because... And then Sharon's saying they can get dropped dead of heart. It is, and their knees can go bad. I mean, yeah, they have to be... You're right. They have to be euthanized. A little slaughtered. And then Gail says, I'm after 60. Gail, you rock star. I think you're my hero. But the libido wane is real. Yeah, it is. I know, because at 52 I hit it. Let's see. Wait a second. Yeah, don't say anything to Lorraine. Nancy, don't say anything to Lorraine, since apparently she doesn't remember that we had a falling out. Wait a second. I'm sorry. I'm reading. I apologize. And then Sharon's saying they're a cross between the two breeds of produce. Yes, you don't keep the crosses as breeding stock. Yeah, they run into people who got a couple of them and had a Tractor Supply. Oh, you don't actually. You just cross them. You can't. Oh, Sharon just taught me something. No, really? No, then why? But the other two breeds, their breasts aren't big enough, are they? Because then why do they have to artificially inseminate them? You'll have to tell me why. Because if crossbreeding them gave them hybrid vigor, which is what we want, right? From crossbreeding, then why wouldn't they use the original? I don't know. I'll have to look it up, because in my mind that doesn't make sense, because neither one of the breeds that they're crossing would have a big enough breast to make if the breast was so big that they would have to kill them before breeding, then do you see the problem with that? Then you could never breed them. So crossing them, crossing them would make hybrid vigor and make them more vigorous, but I don't know that would it make their breasts? I'll have to read up on it, because I am trying to think of how this works. Okay, but if you're right, you just taught me something. And then Madeline says, after pregnancy, hitting the O is difficult. At least he takes time to get me there. I'm so lucky. Actually, you probably are. You aren't probably. But from what I've known, okay, you guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, don't start laughing, but I'm going to tell you one of my secrets. You guys, I can't even believe I'm telling you this. My husband's going to kill me when I go in the house. That's okay. He can kill me. And I'll be like, thank you. I don't have to worry about tomorrow, making sure that I get this thing up for. So we're going to talk about this other stuff, the fiber stuff, in a while. I bought my husband a book called The Lesbian Love Bible. And I actually learned something from it. Why did I buy that? Because it tells you everything. It tells a guy everything he could ever want to know how to make love to a woman. I'm serious. And then my girlfriend, who's a doctor and who's going to remain nameless since I have more than one girlfriend who's a doctor, I told her to get it for her husband. And she was like, I love you so much for this. Because he read it cover to cover. And then all the women in her office bought it for their husbands. Problem solver. Yeah, because, like, quite frankly, I don't want to have to, like, okay, who wants to tell their husband, like, give them a, like, I don't want to pull out my whiteboard and start drawing the anatomy of a female and explain it all. Plus, there was shit in there I didn't even know. I actually didn't know. And I'm like, oh, good to know. I'm really serious. I think it's called The Lesbian Love Bible. Any one of those books, though, will do it. But I'm telling you, and any man that gets, like, bowed up because you buy him a book to teach him how to please you better, whatever. Like, I'm serious. Men are so easy to figure out. They're like, quite frankly, just doing it makes them happy, right? For us, it's a little more complicated than that. Yeah, I know. You guys are learning all my secrets. It's not all of them, but there's one. And then, but she's saying that always pulls through and goes above and beyond what she teaches, so she feels proud of her friend, and she loves my class. It's so easy to talk about and share things. It's easy to talk about it and share things that she enjoys. And Trishy, but I'll tell you, when Trishy tells me I've done a good job, like I feel like I just won like a marathon, like a serious, like I do. I feel like that just because I feel like she's, you want people to be proud of you, and I feel like she's proud of me, and it makes me love it. And Sharon Stewart saying they didn't understand why their birds died. They failed to fly. But I think if you just didn't feed them, you didn't finish them, because if you don't feed them, they can't get like that. Okay, hang on. And then Catherine, I don't doubt you love sex. Catherine Rainey is 60. I don't doubt. Catherine, Catherine and I talked about you. I think, was it last time or the time before? Catherine, Catherine, I don't doubt it. I just don't. Because I know her. And then Nancy says, no worries, she's not going to rat on me. Let me see. And then Sharon says, research project. Okay, we're both going to research. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. This is what, as an animal scientist, that I would do. I'm just telling you, my problem-solving brain sees how fast they finish, how they can't even walk. And so before you were finishing them, I would say probably at like, depending on, how good they are and how fast they're going, at like 6 to 8 weeks, you would no longer feed them like 24% chick starter. You would have to then bring them down to like 15%. And then you would have to, like, when people want to keep pot-belly pigs small, what you do is then you can't feed them copious amounts, because pot-belly pigs are going to become very large pigs. Not obviously like the pigs that, we make bacon from, but they are going to become big. They're not going to be micro minis anymore. So I would probably stop them around right when they're feathering in. I would pull from the flock, and it's pretty easy to tell at that age who's a rooster, who's a roo, and who's a hen. pull out 2 roos. I'd pull out 2 roos, and I'd probably pull out 15 hens, and I'd put them in another pen, and I would only feed them like the 15%, and I would only feed them a certain amount, and then I might feed them like watermelon or something that's like, or lettuce or something, just to give them like something in their bellies, but I wouldn't let them gorge all day. And I think that would do it. And then you would have to, you know, artificially inseminate, but that's a no-brainer. I mean, it's not that hard. You just show them a picture of your naked boobs, and then you go like this, just kidding. And you're like, okay, now you're being weird. I know. Okie dokie. But let me know. Yeah, and then she's talking about that was that they did their feed and finish. I think we can keep them. There's no reason they couldn't be kept if we just lowered the feed intake. And then Christine says, got to check that book out, The Lesbian Love Bible. I think that's what it's called. It's something like that. It's like Lesbian Love. Anyway, there's like a couple of them. And but I bought this one, and it was freaking awesome. I was like, oh my God, you mean my girly parts can do that? Sweet. I never knew. And then all of a sudden they did do it, and I was like, wow. Look what happens when you know it can do that, and then it does it. It's because you've been not letting it do it because you didn't think it could, and yeah, I know. I'm telling you. I learned a lot. And then Saddlebutt says, I think men are a lot of work. Actually, I think men are really simple. Some men are a lot of work, and those ones you don't want. But the other men, I say it's the 3 F's, food, fucking football. And then some people are like, I don't like football. I'm like, okay, then fun. I mean, put whatever F you want in there. But I mean, men are pretty simple. I think, you know, I do think they are fairly simple. We're very complicated. Women are very complicated. We are multitasking and thinking, and men, I mean, how many of you, I could be like stark naked in stilettos walking in front of the television during Super Bowl, and my husband would be like, honey, you're in the way. Can you do that during halftime? Seriously. Yeah. And then Sharon says, I'm 16 and now only care if I'm nice. It's refreshing to no longer care about the other kind of judgment. Sorry if I was difficult in the past. Sorry, not sorry. Is that what you mean? And then Mandolin says she'll be hitting 29 April. Okay, no, yeah. Then you're going to have to, I think a lot of it's up here, unless you're nursing. I love that Sharon Stewart is going to research, because I'm a big, my hair looks like a rat's nest right now. You guys, because, no, the other day, so like it was like episode 7, my hair was so messed up. It was so bad, but I think I had it up and I took it down, but I didn't, like, straight flat on it. You guys are like, we don't give a shit about your hair. Let's talk about fiber. First, I want to tell you about so we're talking about chicken, so let me talk about this. So I get this, I have a gal that rents for me. I think I've talked about her before. She's like 30-something. She has 4 kids, lived in a really expensive place in Temecula with a very nice home. She had a Mercedes. Her husband had a Mercedes, like, you know, not the cheapy ones, like what I got my daughter a Mercedes, a cheapy one, like at the 250, whatever, just so she'd be safe. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So they had, and she said it was just like, she just walked in one day and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be chasing my tail. I don't want to have to have all of this, like it's like, because it never ends. When you make a lot, like the more you make, the more you spend, and you chase your tail. Then you need to make more, and then you need to make more, and you have more things. And at what point do you have too many things, right? Or things that you can't use, right? So she just walked, it was like her high school sweetheart, and so she just wanted to downsize. So she lives in this little trailer. My daughter, I bought it for Jory, and it's a little, it's a reproduction canned ham, so it's like new, but it's super cute. Tiny though, 18 feet. So I get this call, and I'm actually getting busy with Sean. This is like the other night. And so I'm like, oh shit, you know, Katie's calling me. So I answer the phone, and she's like this, Natalie, and I think something's died, like one of her children's died. Like my heart just hit. She can't even talk. I gotta tell you, your dog's killed a chicken, and she's like absolutely like I'm like. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I feel so bad. And she's like, I said, Katie, stop. I said, stop. I said, is it a white chicken? Yes. Is it your favorite chicken? I said, no, it died this morning of like a crop impaction. What? Katie, I fed it to the dogs. It's called recycling. What? Are you sure? Yes, Katie, I'm quite sure. Oh, I'm so relieved. I'm just like, I'm like, I said, Katie, how are you going to live on the farm this lambing season? Because, like, when the lambs are born dead, I throw them to the dogs. I do. Because they're like, it's like they're really soft. The bones are really soft. It sounds gross, but, I mean, it sounds gross to people who aren't farmers, but if you're a farmer, it's not gross. It's like, why would I throw away a perfectly good carcass that's it's fresh? The dogs are scavengers. So, like, to them, it's like better than a soup bone, let me tell you. Am I happy that the lamb died? No, I'm horrified and I hate it. But I want it out of I want it not to, I want it to be gone. I want it to disappear. And the best way is to feed it to one of the dogs because it'll be gone in like 15 minutes flat. Seriously. So Katie goes, I guess I'm just not good at farm stuff. And I said, oh, you're going to get good. You're going to get good. Yeah. But it's still funny. I was telling the guys this morning, my Muslim friends, they were belly laughing because they're like, you Americans. I know. It's because we think food comes from the grocery store. We don't know it actually comes from an animal. And what do people think dog food's made of? Like, you're like rice and lamb. It says right on there. Katie still cracks me up. She makes me laugh. And then Gail says, is there a special topic tonight, like your upcoming tutorials? Sorry, I was like, yes, Gail, we're getting there. I told them, you weren't here for it. I said, I wanted to start talking about it right away, but the problem is I couldn't talk about it right away because Trisha told people that don't want to be here during when I say penis and vagina. If you don't want to hear us say penis, vagina, or fuck, then come later on. So I couldn't say the stuff that wasn't that stuff early on. I have to say it later. Okay. We're changing subjects. We're going straight to fiber. Bam, shaka-laka-laka. Here we go. First of all, we are doing the spin-along, knit-along. For people, anybody who doesn't knit, don't worry, because Natalie is going to teach you, probably not very well, but I am going to teach you on a live stream on facebook.com/groups/reading method. I'm going to teach you the knit stitch, because we're going to be knitting with circular needles. What kind of needle are you going to use? It depends on whether or not you're going to use commercial yarn to knit your hat, or if you're going to make your own yarn. If you're going to make your own yarn, I'm going to teach you, after you make your yarn, how to quick and dirty, if you don't want to make a swatch gauge, just a quick and dirty way of wrapping your yarn around your needle to kind of quasi figure out, you can look that up by the way, what needle size you're going to need. People that spin, even, okay, knitters that want to learn how to spin, I'm going to be teaching how to make the yarn either A, on a chopstick or a pen, anything, or I am going to be doing tutorials not necessarily on beginning spinning, but you can still learn. Even though I'm not like breaking it down, I'm going to be teaching spinners how to spin these two types of yarn. The a semi woolen yarn, and I'm going to teach them, or I guess it could be even semi worsted. It's probably semi worsted. But, and then also an art yarn. So if people want to have an art yarn and they want to make an art yarn, which I have, I'm going to put a picture up. I don't know if I can get it done. It's definitely going to be up by the morning, you guys, on Reading Method. It's going to be up on facebook.com/groups/Reading Method. It's going to be the whole tamale. It's going to be a picture of the yarn that I made tonight. That's an art yarn that's hanging in my house. It's going to be a picture. There's going to be a picture of this yarn that's more of, this is like a semi-worsted. A semi-worsted, and this is a super cute yarn, and it was made with this. This is a really small thing of it. This is how much you get in the scrap box. So I'm going to sell, what's going to happen, nobody has to buy anything. You guys, if you want to use commercial yarn and you just want to, or you just want to see what's going on, you're going to come to the live streams. And tomorrow, with all of the information that's going to be posted on Reading Method, I'm going to put the dates and the times of all of these live streams. You're going to be able to be in chat too. So it's going to be, and it's going to be through a camera, because it's going to be great resolution, because my husband will be manning the camera so he can pan into like my hands, like me spinning. Like if you want to, you're like, oh, Natalie, please do that again. Then Sean will be able to pan in and I'll read, and then I'll do it again, right? And then I'm going to do both of those. So I'm going to do both types of spinning, and the spinning on the chopsticks. I'm also going to teach you how to simple, quick, and dirty dye a yarn. I dyed this yarn right here. I already put it in a ball. I like round balls. I don't like cakes because it's just a personal thing of mine. And you're like, of course you like balls, you naughty girl. Anyhow, it's a thing. It's a thing. I think cakes are ugly. But center pull balls are nice, but I just use these. So I dyed this. I'm going to teach you guys a quick and dirty way. Why? Because people who are making art yarn, it's better to alternate rows with a commercial yarn so that your hat is not going to be too heavy. And it just, I think, in my opinion, it looks, I just think it looks better. So, I mean, think of like variegated yarn and it gets really busy, and then you have the stitches and it gets really busy. I picked 6 different patterns, you guys. 6 different patterns. And there are 4 of them are slouchy and 2 of them are more of like a traditional hat that you can use with just a regular, like a commercial yarn, or like your semi-worsted yarn that you're going to spin. If you do a semi-worsted yarn and you don't want to do all, it's probably going to take 100 and something, I don't know, 100 and something yards. If you don't want to do, it depends on not too bulky. Because I personally want to do it in either DK weight or a bulky weight, super bulky or bulky. And so I'm going to put up 2 different kinds of DK weight yarn that you can buy if you want with the scrap box, or you can buy even if you want to do a traditional yarn and you want to, let's say, not do any spinning. You want a traditional yarn, but you want to dye it yourself. You can buy these yarns and I'm telling you, one of them is my freaking it's my favorite. It's called Crazy 8. It is my favorite yarn. It is so awesome. It's a sport weight, but when you full it, so when you wash it or dye it, it turns into a DK. So I have 2 different DK weight yarns that I love, and I'm going to put pictures of those up. And then I'm also going to put some bulky yarn. I don't have a whole bunch of skeins of bulky, the bulky yarn. And there's superwash, which is really awesome because superwash picks up dye amazingly well. Amazing. And I think both DK weights that I have are also superwash, picks up dye amazing. And you're going to do them in a solid color. And I'm going to teach you guys that. And then for free. And then if you don't have to buy yarn from me. You don't have to buy anything from me. But if you want to buy, if you like a bulky, if you want to use a bulky yarn, and you can actually just buy cheap yarn at like it's like a roving yarn at like Walmart or even Michael's or Joann's. The problem is theirs isn't superwash, so because it's roving yarn, it wants to felt. So that's the problem, and it won't pick up dye as well. It won't be as pretty. It won't be as bright. And I was showing you before, but the yarn that's superwash, picks up dye like this. I mean, I gotta show you, it's freaking amazing. Like, the colors, it picks it up, I mean, at a non-superwash yarn, and I'm gonna show you the difference. A non-superwash, I'm gonna show you how non-superwash picks up dye. Wait, I wanna make sure that you guys, I have no hair left. My hair's completely fallen out. I'm just hanging on to, I'm like a guy who's balding, who's just hanging on to the last vestige of hair that he has. That's what I'm doing. So anyway, see how bright these are? Okay, now, I'm going to show you a hat that has dyes in this that is not superwash. This is a hat that I dyed non-superwash, and some of the colors in here, they would be the equivalent brightness of those other yarns. Even though they're different colors, they're that bright. And they show up like this. Non-superwash merino, because merino doesn't have luster, picks up dye. Do I have the green one in here? Yeah, this is the green one. The green in here is the green in here. Some of them, not all of them. You see the difference? Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's why superwash is awesome. Because it picks up dye like no other. It makes you look like a genius. I mean, I am a genius when it comes to dyeing, quite frankly. You're like, stop tooting your own horn. Toot toot. I am. But it's because I've done a lot of research, and I'm a scientist, and I also have artistic prowess, and I'm willing to ruin things to figure shit out. That's what to like be good at something, you have to be willing to ruin stuff. So anyway, yeah, so bulky, like the yarn, see. I'm trying to. I'm gonna. You know, I don't even want to show you here because you can't see it. You can't see that. You can't see that how good the yarn is, or the the weight of like how it looks in the weight. But I'm telling you, Crazy 8. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so in love with this yarn. The stitch definition is so good, and it picks up dye so beautifully. And actually, I was talking to Trish tonight. She was like, because I bragged about it so much, my girls wanted some, so I sent them some. And then she's like, and she's like, when you first got it and I took it out of the bag, I didn't like it. And I was like, how could you not like it? She goes, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like, she goes, but then when I dyed it, or she said it just bloomed, but that's kind of what it says in the thing, but it doesn't say you're not going to like it, the thing, and you mean where the place where I buy these yarns. And it doesn't say that, it just says that it opens up, because it's an 8-ply yarn. It's an 8-ply yarn, and it's just so round and beautiful. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So what we're doing though is, so I'm going to put, once again, I'm going to put the date. You're like, sure you are. Tomorrow I actually don't have anything else going on. All the packages, even the people that won already, the people that won last week, I got your shit packed. It's like, it's the label's on it. And so it goes out tomorrow. I did say that you guys have got to take it out of the bag because it's barely dry. Like some of it might be a little bit damp. And you got both the scrap, you got the scrap box and the top. So you get to, that way you have both. There'll be the scrap box with fiber, with the fiber in it. Oh, of course I didn't bring shit out here. What is wrong? You guys, I could only carry my beer, my lipstick, and my glasses. So I didn't bring it. Damn it. I hate when I do shit like that. Anyway, it's like usually 6 ounces, 6 ounces of fiber, 6 to 8 ounces of fiber, somewhere in there. It's usually, so let's just say 6.5. Will probably be what it is. And you get Angelina, and you're going to have like, it's black locks, black and gray locks, and then a bunch of like turquoise. That's my favorite. I love this yarn. Is so cute. It's super cute. It's gonna, I love the yarn that I made, and I just took it off the bobbin and just washed it. It's hanging right now because I tried to get all of this stuff done so I could get the pictures up tonight, but I'm not going to be able to get it done because my brain is gone, and I have to make a sheep cake for the lady that's my Airbnb person. Moving on. Tomorrow, go to Reading Method and you'll see it there. It's going to be there. And if I'm going to post it on my wall too. But the 6 patterns are going to be in. Tricia told me to put them in a file in Reading Method, and you'll see everything. All the information is going to be there. And we're going to start. We cannot start anything until I make sure that people. I'm going to give people like 4 days to purchase stuff if they want to do this, and then the rest of the people, if they purchase it afterwards, then they'll just have to catch up, but I'll send it priority, so it should only take 3 days. And we'll start in 1 week from Thursday, so that would be 8 days. The first tutorial will happen. I can probably do the knitting tutorial before that, but the spinning will be after that. So maybe in 7 days from today, I can do the knitting tutorial. Don't judge, because I'm not a knitting teacher, but I'm going to teach anyway. And then we'll do probably, I think, we'll try and space it out a couple of days apart. Or I'll ask Tricia how far to space it out, the tutorials. And hopefully you guys will join me live, right? It sounds like, seems like 6 is a good time. Is 6 a good time? Maybe, probably a little early in the day. It'd be better for Sean, and he's going to be filming it, so maybe 5, 4, somewhere around there. I'll have to see what time of the day, but I hope you guys show up so that we can chit-chat, and you can ask questions. But there will be other people. If you're not there, the chat will still be there, so you can read it. And then if you have questions, you can ask Tricia or Kristen. I'm really bad about getting back to people because I'm so busy, but I try. I do try. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. I'll be right there. Hang on. Okay, let's see. The other topic will keep my mind off pain. Back to the book, lol. That was very cute, Sharon. Okie dokie, let's see. Wait, damn it! I'm sorry, I'm having to scroll up. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have a lot to scroll up to. And then, Catherine, I have to read this, of course, because Catherine's giving me a compliment, which I feel really good about. Because Catherine, she's a ball breaker. I do say that about you, Catherine. I love you. I love you. I love your ball breakerness. I'm just so glad I'm not your boyfriend. Well, you're like, stop it. And then Catherine said, she's so much fun, knowledgeable teacher, and she takes all of my classes, and I appreciate that. And, oh my God. Miss Shelley says, I saw a t-shirt that says, get your knits out, and it had 2 balls of yarn over the breast, and she totally thought of me. And they also had one that said, knitters have balls. I love that. That sounds like my kind of shirt. And then Allison Blair says, I like slashy hats. And then Gail says, Natalie's a fabulous teacher. She's taking her Dice Secrets class. And she can say that after I can't even tell you I had such bad internet problems because of Jenny. And then, yay, Gail. Yes, we will have you knitting, Tricia says. And then, hi, LR. I enjoy your videos, learning tons of things. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. All of my videos are sold. You're like, really, we wouldn't have guessed that by the fact that now you look like an old lady and before you looked younger. Yeah, I know. Okay, Lisa Wonderly. Love your raw and random topics on these live feeds. Also excited to learn from you. Thank you so much. And then Madeline says she's in. When is it going to be? It's about time I learned to knit. Okay, so I said a week. Okay, so how can I do this? Because if I do the knit tutorial, I have to do it before Tuesday, I think, because I don't want to do this to you, like go through the meat and potatoes and the sausage making of this. But I can't do. If I do 2 live streams on Tuesday, it might wear out my it might wear out my internet prowess, you know, like, because it's really exhausting. Believe it or not, it seems like it wouldn't be, but it actually is exhausting because I'm just talking the whole time, right? And I have to actually think. You're like, yeah, that's, see, I'm talking the whole time. I have hardly drank anything. I need a beer hat, like, right. Like, remember those hats? I remember putting one on when I was in high school. I can't believe I didn't get herpes from it, you know, putting it in my mouth and, like, after it's been in someone else's mouth. I used to think about that with bobbing for apples. Like, when my kids were young, I'd be like, none of my children are bobbing for apples. Like, totally terrified. Anyhow, but you know, when you put the hat on, it has like the cups and then it has these tubes that go in your mouth. You're like, wow, so you were really in high school. Apparently you weren't a teetotaler. No, I wasn't. And then Stephanie says she's exciting to learn. And then Allison says about the herding, well, about the herding. And she says, are not afraid they will. Okay. Are you not afraid they'll want to eat the live lambs? Sharon, no, Sharon, they don't eat the live lambs. Oh, that's why Allison was laughing, because Miss Shelley said her black lab enjoys herding cows, but they aren't her cows that she's herding. That's a good way to get shot. And then Stephanie says that she needs it. She doesn't knit, but she weaves and spins. She's so excited. I'm so happy. Okay, let's see. And then Susan says the tutorial sounds super terrific. And I'm slouching. I'm scrolling. And then Tricia says, I want as many people to learn spinning and knitting in the world as possible. Me too. And then Sharon's like, oh, she said balls. That's right. What's your thoughts on the babe? Okay, so I don't know anything about the babe fiber starter wheel. I have no idea. I have one on trade for 3 alpaca fleeces spun. Oh, well, there you go. And then Tree said, Sharon Tree said she has a babe, but she doesn't use it because it's ugly. Yeah, I don't. If it were, I'm sure it functions well. I'm sure it functions well, and I'm sure Sharon wouldn't have bought it if it didn't function well. And then Madeline says it stands up to her toddler, which is good. And then Sharon says she has an electric eel nano. And then Madeline says she's afraid for her antique wheel because of tree. I would be too. And then the black yarn behind me is, that's actually not yarn. Are you talking about that? Right there? You guys. Oh, this is fleece. It's going to be in my sale. It's like, this is a boa, a cotton boa. So people make things from them. But it actually is really cool because I think this is what you're talking about. It actually has colors in it, but you can barely see them because there's very few, like right here. Like it's hidden. Isn't it lustrous? You like it, if this is it, you like it because it's shiny. But it's shiny because it's a long one. Or this is a scarf. This is a scarf, and then this. I still haven't talked about this sweater, you guys. It's so beautiful. This, I'm going to talk about it maybe next week. I had to talk about this week. This tutorial stuff, and it keeps falling off, and it's pissing me off. Why is it? Why don't I just, let me put it on here. This is such a beautiful sweater, and it fits me like a glove. It actually does. I love this sweater. Oh, it looks like it would be big for me, but it's not. Okay, okay, wait, let's see. And then Ms. Shelley says she'd buy someone's used spinning wheel. They're so damn expensive that I haven't been able to afford one, and I can't find any used. I'm in North Dakota. You should be able to find something used. And then, you know what? If you need, you know what we need to do? Actually, you know what we could do? I bet you that there's somebody in Reading Method that has a wheel that they don't need and they don't want, that they would sell to you for cheap. I'm dead serious. You need to go on Reading Method, and Trishy or Kristen need to put like a shout out. And if you're really serious, if you could afford one that was pretty cheap, like, you know, I'm talking like basically, you know, like $50 or $100, and then I bet you that we could find you one. So I'm sure we could, because I put shout outs for shit, and then people, you know, I've been able to find stuff for people to come forward, because there was a lot of people with money that, you know, have things and that they don't need, and they want to help people. And, you know, I'd like to, you know, also we have a 501c3 for fiber arts, and, you know, I could give somebody, that's the other thing we could do, is we could offer, I'm not sure if I can make that decision, whether, I think I can, because I'm the director. I'm not on the board, but I'm the director. But I'm pretty sure I'll have to ask, I'll ask our secretary if I can do that, where I can give somebody I can give them a tax write-off. So they're not like, basically, they will get a tax write-off instead of the money, and a lot of people are fine with that. So I would totally be more than willing to help you get a spinning wheel to where, you know, basically if you could, you know, pay shipping or something. So let me see what we can do. Let me first ask, so I need to first ask the secretary, but I'm about 1,000% sure I can do that. So I'd love to help you. It's all about fiber arts and preserving fiber arts, and so there's no earthly reason, it seems to me, why I couldn't, you know, try and help. So, I mean, I'm really serious, because you know, the whole purpose is to promote fiber arts, and you know, we want more people in it, and I want to. It's also, you know, preserving agriculture and the things that we do, in an effort to promote fiber arts. So, anyhow, okay, let's see, move on. And then Madeline says, it's like a dab infection, you want all the toys. Yes. And then Trishy has a bunch of do-it-yourself tools. She does. And she says, you can see on my YouTube channel, I made a video that shows all my DIY. Well, you didn't put your YouTube channel, Trishy. As much as I love her, you need to. And then Sharon says she does a drop spindle. Why is this doing this? Okay. Let's see. And then I'm addicted to blending board videos on Instagram, Amber says. And Ms. Shelley, I have to remember this. Trisha, you have to remind me. And then Gail doesn't know. Trisha, put your YouTube channel, please. And then my hair's, Rogaine, it works. Yeah, but I hear that it makes your hair jump. I hear that it makes your hair drop. My hair, it's growing under, you can see right here how I have hair, like, it's growing in. I lost all my hair because I was allergic to potatoes and didn't know it, and got very sick and lost 20 pounds from where I got very, very ill. I was very ill. I even when I had to go to the hospital. I was so ill. But it ended up to be a potato allergy. But my hair, you know, was down to the back of my knees, and I lost it. And it takes like, you know, 12 years for it to grow that long. So it's going to be a really long time before my hair is long again. But yeah, you see it's like this length now. Most of it's this length. And then there's a lot of it, you know, even now, I don't know. It's really short. Anyway, it's growing in. Hi, Crystal! And the sweater's scrumptious. Let me tell you, that sweater, that was a lot of work. I didn't do it. And then Miss Shelley says she's appreciated. It's my pleasure. And you can nudge me if you don't hear about it. But let me tell you, I will definitely, if something happens and I don't, and something where it keeps getting bumped, it will be done by next Tuesday, because I would never face you and not have it done. The answer and have you all the information, because I would be horrified. And then Andrea says, I can't find where to purchase your fleeces and yarn because I haven't put it up yet. So my fleeces and my yarn, everything I said would be done on Sunday, I didn't do it. So it's going to be this Sunday I'm having a sale, but for this thing that we're doing, this knit along and spin along, it's going to be up by it's tomorrow morning. It's going to be up because that's the first thing I'm doing. I don't have anything else scheduled. It's going to be done. I'm going to have, but there's a lot of information for me to put. It's probably going to take me an hour and a half to do it. I did develop a potato allergy, Nancy, and it's stupid. And then Michelle says one of the best things for regrowth is diet and protein and good. I'm a meat eater, so I get a lot of protein. I'll tell you that. I did develop a potato allergy, and I love French fries. I ate hash browns every single morning, and I ate baked potatoes every single night. And I didn't know it. I was killing myself. I was killing myself with potatoes. I can't even touch them. If they're in a soup and I eat the broth of the soup, I'm done. Touching him, it's like, and I don't want Sean. I don't even want him eating potatoes because I want to eat his face, and I can't eat his face if he's eating potatoes because it'll make me sick. I actually don't even want them in the house, to be honest with you. I really don't, because I'm not that allergic to them. You're like, it's like I mean, it makes me deathly ill. Deathly ill. Okay, any caramel fleeces for sale, Jody? No, but you know what I will have? I will have Corriedale. I have a lot of Corriedales, but the fleeces I have are amazing. They're amazing and they're coated. No Cormo. I love Cormo because it's bright whiteness, but I don't. The shorter staple, you know, because they have pretty short staple. The better they are, the shorter staple they have. And I don't make traditional yarns. But people love them. So if I find good Cormo fleeces, I buy them and I resell them. But I don't have Cormo fleeces a whole bunch. I usually have a couple a year. And then Michelle says that food allergies are really scary. Yes, they are. Oh my God, LR had a baked potato night and her intestines are killing me. What would happen for me, the way it manifested, was it felt like I had a watermelon right here. Like I could not even bend down. I could not, and if you're shearing, you have to bend down. I can't even tell you how much pain, how much suffering I did over this potato allergy. And the way they figured it out, it wasn't them who figured it out. I ended up having a job somewhere, and for whatever reason, usually the hotels have potatoes, but whatever happened, this hotel didn't have potatoes. So I ended up eating something else for like 3 days. And I came back, and Sean had asked how I was doing, and I was like, God, I haven't felt this good. And I had to go through all the things that happened, you know, and what it was, what it was that, you know, I didn't do that made me feel better. And the only thing I could come up with was potatoes. So then I didn't eat potatoes and tried to eat a potato and suffered horribly. And then went to the doctor, you know, back to the gastrointestinal doctor, and I had every test under the sun. They thought I had something called celiac MSA, I think it's called celiac MSA. It's like the artery, the main artery in your stomach where it starts to close off. So it was bad. And they said it's going to be fatal if you don't have it fixed. I mean, that's the only thing that they could come up with. And so I was supposed to have a CT scan, and something happened where I couldn't have the CT scan because I had barium, and they could not see. And they said come back in a week, and a week later they still couldn't see. I lit up like a Christmas tree. So I couldn't have it. And then the week later, it still lit up like a Christmas tree. Yeah. So then in the meantime, I had to go to this thing. I had to work. So I went and I did this retreat, and so now it's ended up to be what it is, and I can't even come within. I'm not kidding you. Potatoes make me deathly. I mean, it's the same. And this thing, it happens after I eat them, and it lasts for like a week. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it to even touch a French fry. It's not, because I can't eat. I can't. Once that happens, you can't eat. You can't move. And then Chrissy says she met me in Kentucky. I actually was really off my game. I did a really bad job there, by the way, but thank you. And then Crystal says my niece can't eat potatoes either. And then Sharon, so I explained. So yes, inflammation of the stomach intestines. Yes, oh my God. And then Stephanie says she's always looking for gray fleece. It's so hard to find. And then Lisa says food allergies are so crazy. She sympathizes with me, and she developed an allergy to bananas in college. Very scary. I actually don't like bananas. I don't eat them. Anyway, okay, you guys, we're done. So when is my next Color Me Beautiful class? I'm not sure. The girls just brought that up. She's like, when are you starting that? I haven't even thought about it, but it's probably going to be in the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's probably going to be the next 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 4, maybe a month. But I have to take because this Sunday was the first Sunday that we haven't had it, right? Yeah. And then, so it'll probably a month But I need to go to, so I got to do stitches stuff. Got to do stitches. So like mentally, like my brain is like purging everything until I'm done with stitches, because it's so important that I do a good job. They're very supportive of me, and I really have to do a good job there. Really good job. It is their biggest event. And the sale will be on Teeswater, Andrea. And I appreciate you asking. I think you asked last week. It's just my life is so busy, and I have to go. I have to take pictures of everything and list it, and it's a big task. It's a big task. It really is. It takes a lot. Okay, you guys. So I love you guys so much. I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go drink and eat, and maybe get frisky. Probably yes. So excited. I just have to. Definitely, I'm gonna wash my hair because I haven't washed it in 2 days. You're like, that's gross. I know. But I do take copious showers, let me tell you. I take a shower twice a day. But my hair is falling out, so I'm trying not to wash it. I just put a ton of hairspray in it. Okay, okay, you guys. I love you. I love you. I really sound like a crazy person. I love you. I really do. Okay. So, I'm going to see you next Tuesday, and you're going to go to my page, my Reading Method. No, my Facebook.com/groups/Reading Method, and you're gonna find the update about our knit along, spin along that I'm so excited. You guys, I appreciate more than I can say, and have a